was a very, very beautiful girl, very, very beautiful, very, very pretty. So every guy, a lover guy, have Oriente. So this one now is for Ifechukwu Moyinle. It's Oriente. You understand? So Oriente, you have received special dedication all the way from Nigeria Info. If you do anyhow, you are gonna see anyhow. That is his own way of expressing, how he feel about you. This is the find trouble, Sha. Yo, what's up? What's up? How you doing? How's your mind? How's your body? And how is your soul? My name is Denise Dennis Walu, one and only of Nigeria Info FM. And it is time for the sunny side right here on your number one station for Talk 92.3 Nigeria Info FM. Now, I will crave your indulgence. I will appeal to you to head on to X at Nigeria Info PH and X. Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. You don't go like watch us live. Like, do you understand you can listen to us from your radio, your earpiece, or your mobile device? And you can also watch us live. Like you watch everything that is happening here in the studio. How about that? So watch live, but most importantly, engage. Drop your comments in the comment section. What are we looking at this first hour? Identification cards. Ever found them useful? Now, something happened at the Art of Pastor Talking Drum on Sunday, and I said, you know what? I'm going to share that story with us. And it's going to some way, somehow intensify the relevance of identity cards. And now that conversation takes us up until 1 o'clock. Trending Stories comes up at 1 o'clock. Afterwards, we'll have a recorded program. But after the recorded program, we'll have a chit chat. This is centered around, you see all these conductors and taxi drivers that used to pair two people to go and look for change for themselves. We need to call them out now. Because you see, before, it was easy for somebody to say, okay, take the change, I'm in a hurry. But I don't think it happens anymore. Two of them together will work out and go and find the change. And if you think you're a fine guy, that if they pair you up with a guy, the guy will say, take it. Lie. It will not work for you. For how much change do you want to leave for you? Anyway, the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour, we'll talk about friendship. Yes, friendship is the conversation. No man is an island, they say. We all need friends. But if we were to choose between a loyal friend and a wealthy friend, which would it be? Sunnyside will come to an end after that. News comes up at 3. That's Rivers Today. And thereafter, the man of the people himself will be here on Hard Facts. Is there something else I'm missing? I doubt. All right, so we go on a commercial break. When we come back, conversation starts in full. back to the sunny side. Let us delve right into the conversation. Identification cards. Ever found them useful? Now, I remember always having your ID card, as we call them, pinned to your school uniform or hung around your neck when going to school as a child. So while you have your neatly ironed uniform, some parents will usually pin, there's a way they used to arrange that handkerchief, very small portable handkerchief, they pin it to your dress, makes you look neat. And then you see your ID card, they pin it somewhere as well. Or there's a way there's this what's it called now, ID card hanger. You can put it around your neck, but you are expected to always have your ID card on while in the school premises, so it's always on you. I still remember what my first ID card looked like. Then we did not have these plastic ID cards. Guess what? It was just a simple typewriter that was used to type my name on a very tiny piece of paper, and then my passport photograph will now be used. They will either staple it to that small paper, or they would have this liquid gum applied on the back, put on it, and then they will get a laminating film, right? Is it laminating film? Laminating, what's that thing? Laminating what? That transparent paper now. Then they will laminate it. And then before you know, they shape it, they cut it, and boom, then there's one thing they pass underneath, and that's what will serve as your clip. That was the ID card of those days. So I can remember the font because it was definitely a typewriter. We didn't have computers at the time, but it was something that we carried everywhere around the school. Now I can speak for schools. I don't know about people that worked in companies back then, but you see, as a child, that was your identification. So if they found you anywhere, as long as you're with your school uniform, they search your body and they find that ID card and they can tell, oh, this is Denise, or this is Jude, or this is someone else. And then times change, and now we have the plastic ID cards. So yes, some schools still take it upon themselves to make sure their students have it. Some other schools cannot be bothered. When I talk about schools, I'm talking about nursery school, primary school, secondary school. The university level, you could have multiple ID cards. I mean, in my higher institution, I had the school ID card. Yes, I had the departmental ID card. I had the faculty ID card. So I had 3. At every point in time you find me, you will see me with either 1 or 2 of them. But I wouldn't carry the 3 around because I wouldn't want the risk losing all of them at once. Now, I told you something happened at the Artifact Talking Drum event on Sunday. A particular brand was to give people scholarships, about 3 people, for an entire academic session. So how they were able to do it, I think at some point the event host told them to bring somebody that was sitting at the extreme at the back. I think for some other person, if you are a student of a particular school and you have your identity card here, come forward. Now, people immediately came out, students of that institution. However, not all of them were with their ID cards. Apart from that one person who was coming to a comedy show, who thought it wise that, I need a means of identification in case. Maybe she did not think about it. Maybe it was just something that happened. Maybe, as a lady that I am, sometimes I carry handbags, sometimes I do not carry handbags. Sometimes I switch handbags, and the possibility of me transferring everything from the other handbag to the other handbag, may not have thought. But maybe it was just luck. Maybe it was something she was used to, always got to show ID card. Or maybe it so happened that her ID card was in her bag. And guess what? She came forward with it, and she's gotten herself a scholarship for an academic session. Ever found them useful? Think about it. The most common use of an ID card is to verify that the person holding it is indeed who she claims to be. or who he claims to be. You can then use it to match any additional information they give you, such as the address on an application form. However, the ID must be issued by an agency that you accept as legitimate, such as a state government or a federal agency. Examples that are common here in Nigeria include the driver's license. Some of us have used that driver's license like this to see shege. In short, never ever in the history of driving have we been expected to produce it by those are the checkpoints. But you see, we have utilized that thing. We have used it to open accounts. We have used it to what other things they use that driver's license? In short, we have used it as identification. We want to board plane, at the check-in, we use it as means of. That is the only thing we have used it for. So it's for military identification cards, and then of course our passports, what we call our international passports, our passports. And then of course, you work in an organization, you have the ID card showing you are a staff member of that organization. You're a student somewhere. In fact, even some churches have identity cards for their workers. Pastors have ID cards, deacons have ID cards, a church worker has an identification card. These cards typically ident holder, so you can visually match their face. But I have to add, I don't know the person that captured me in my last driver's license, but if you look at that face in that driver's license and you look at me, you will argue that I'm not the one. You will argue that I am not the one. So sometimes, when you took it, it's the same way some of us, when we first did our voters card, which we also use as identification card these days. When we got our voters card, as far back, the face then and now, it have changed. You have experienced growth, you have metamorphosed, you have established, when Esther was black and broke, but now you have established. So it will not look the same. But then again, there are some ways to check and verify. And then the additional details that may also be included, such as address, birth date, signature, sometimes your blood group, your height, and in some cases, your genotype. Now I'm going to ask, do you have any identification cards at the moment? And how useful have you found them to be beyond opening bank accounts? Let's talk. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Again, 0817 923 0002 and then of course 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416. Again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 030 6416. On X, we're at Nigeria Info PH, and Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. If you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, send us a message. I beg for once, can if educated morning exercise his right to a fair hearing at least? Let's hear a side of the story whenever these allegations fly around. I don't know. No fair hearing. I've said it, and it has happened like that. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Mr. Zion.
Mr. Zion, you're welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you for this discourse, because a lot of us don't know the implication of not going out with our ID cards. ID card saves life. It has saved life. Growing up as a child, my father, as a security officer, would always warn us. And funny enough, those are the days that police will stop you. Can I see your ID card? Authorities will stop you. Can I see your ID card? How much more we living in the barracks? In the barracks, you have barracks ID card. Barracks ID card to show before you get to the barracks. That period, there was no crime like this. We identify ourselves. So I think The student, number one guarantor is not the number one thing the students should do. But look at the kind of students we have. Tomorrow you will graduate them and expect me to give them a job. These ones, no, I will not give them. I will not give them.
Because they did not carry ID card.
I will not give them a job. They have failed. Because if a student, you are leaving your campus, you are not going out with your ID card. Oh my goodness me. No, you can't employ this type. You can't employ them, Mr. Zion.
Okay, I think Mrs. Zion is taking it personal. Maybe you forgot. Like I said, as a lady, you switch bags. The bag you use today probably is not the same bag you use tomorrow. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Okay, it's Victor calling from Ogubu.
Victor, welcome.
Okay. This attack with this guy, what did you call him? It's a Chukuman here. The other time he played blues. He said...
So you want to fight for him?
Yes, I'm here to, because every
defender of the defenseless, well done.
Okay, in the issue of ID card, I want to look at the system. Somehow the system, Nigerian system of leadership contributed to Nigerians not going with their ID cards. But ID card should be paramount. I look at it that Nigerians doesn't have data, so we don't have data. That's why we don't value ID card. I remember, and also let me also say this: ID card can save you. ID card can also implement you, can cause problems to you. I say that to say this. There is a particular company we work. It was an oil service company. Every time we want to go out, except you are inside the company premises, or maybe you want to go in with them, you don't identify with ID card. So in short, they even want us to an extent that you don't even wear coverall outside the company. Because there are some people that when you show them the ID card, they can kidnap you, or they can even do one thing or the other because they say the company has money or one thing or the other. So ID card can save you, and ID card can kill you.
How exactly can ID card kill you?
What if they, like for instance, maybe you are in a company like maybe where in Milan, maybe you are going out with ID card and you are coverall, and then all these kidnappers, they kidnap you and they see your ID card, they know that you are working with this company, and see, you are not safe. You can't go. Yeah, that's it. Immediately they see that ID card. They even, when you are going for induction in the morning, they warn you not to go with ID card. You don't go out with ID card. Even when you are going out with the ID card, you are very careful with it. So
now, if I get you straight, there are instances where kidnappers see your identification card and they can tell where you work, and for that reason...
Very well. Very clear. Like, for instance, you are working with Saipem or maybe LPG. Then kidnappers kidnap you and they see the ID card you are...
But that you work in Saipem does not mean you are the CEO. I mean, some ID cards do not state your designation. They just have it registered that you are a staff member. So you can actually claim to be the security man.
Whether you are, whatever you are, they see that most of them don't even want to know whether you are a staff or contract staff or whatever. Or maybe you just carry it. Once they see that ID, once they see that name, the name of the company, what they believe is that company can pay.
I see. We navigate. For not saying I have witnessed an accident scene where this driver from with a normal I saw it speed mix point the side so going jelly and wide and boom took him husband that just say first mechanic and support the bag. Now at that point I was still a youngest, But then I saw that you bring the display. What were these for? We needed to identify who the piles. Nothing. No name, no deed, nothing. There was absolutely nothing to ID this young man. So guess what? Maybe you're looking for him, and maybe as an actor, is it? It's difficult. Things on the like your genotype, so involved in ID. Hospital. It's running around to see one person's blood group. I got the base for first aid. The how you there, it's of the accident or passing the hospital. I get and make it invalid. They're going to danger zones now. And then should not ID completely, or the I can go out. Says it should not. So I think we go to certain places with our IDs. Maybe we can go out with our driver's license or our voter's card or something else, but not our work IDs or our school IDs or something. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome. Let's more of your messages now, shall we? Let's start with this one. NSV in Eastern Europe. When you are arrested, the first thing the police ask you is to submit your ID card. It's important because if another country is to attack country, the people of the will ask you to submit your identification card for you able to move around to be sure you are part. The Nazi were able to identify Jews. This one says, good afternoon to you. This thing you're doing, concerning topic. It's imperative that one has means of identification in hand. Mine is own wallet. From Oyibo. Have you heard that wallet and is I know a person who do not use wallets. They are never good with wallets. They are never good with wallets at all. Even when they are essentially like destination or not, they pay you as a lucrative tax. Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you and welcome. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? All right, to me. Darlington, your pin is breaking. I don't know if the network or your vibe. I can hear you. Hello? All right, go. Then to call me back. 0817 923 000. Once again, 0817 923 002. WhatsApp and Telegram number remains 089 030 Do you have any identification card? And how useful? Have you found your own bank accounts? Because you see, it's not all bank accounts that you don't have all those things. Don't own bank accounts, which is what the most used. I mean, when you say highly used, this is accounts, so let's not even argue. But beyond bank accounts owning, how did you useful from your school ID to your ID to your driver's license, voter's card, passport, some people have cards. Some shows face. So a name should son up. Good afternoon.
Can you Wellington? The matter. I mean, the education group. You are aware that the national card is not.
I have never to one. I haven't gotten.
That's knowledge of registration. Like you cannot go into something wallet. And you not ID card, which is supposed to be given by the Federal Republic of Nigeria free, and you're paying for it. If you lost it twice, 10,000 in this economy, would you like to go up with your ID card again?
Okay, what about other means of identification beyond the national ID card?
It's also nice if a company gives you an ID card and you lost your ID card, it's difficult for the company to give you another one.
Really?
It's a fact. So they were warning you not to go out with the ID card, and that's not the truth.
How much? Hold on. I knew once upon a time.
Got your ID card. Maybe, let us not debate this thing. If you go to some companies, I don't want to remember. If you're going out to drop your ID card, if you're coming in, you pick your ID card at the security post.
Really?
For some security purpose. Yes. Yes, because you're so target.
Okay, so the means of identification is only necessary when you are in the company premises.
Yes.
Really?
Because if you go out with your ID card, you might likely also use the ID card to commit one or two, and also be attacked because of the ID card. It's possible. You don't know. The country you're living is not safe. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Inside time we begin to tell ourselves the truth.
So in your opinion, should we continue to use ID cards or not?
Do we continue to do what?
Do we continue to have identification cards? I mean, we have multiple.
If you want to have an identification card from this country, because we should make it absolutely free. The national ID card is necessary, absolutely free.
So only national ID is necessary? Only the national ID card is necessary?
Yes, that's to identify where it's from the local government.
And all
other things, that is more better and should be absolutely free.
Absolutely free.
For it. Any other ID attached to it should be personal.
Well, Wellington, once again, when you say absolutely free, when you say absolutely free, I have a national ID, not the card itself, but the one that has the identification, and we didn't need to pay for that. You're not supposed to pay. It's the same way you're not supposed to pay for your voter's card. The only one you're supposed to pay for is your passport, your Nigerian passport, and your driver's license at first issuance and renewal when it expires. But for your national ID and your voter's card, I'm well aware that it is completely free, especially when you go and register with, the centers you're supposed to register with are not some people that, when you take advantage of those centers you're supposed to register with. I know some centers provide their own computers, their internet and everything, and you have to pass with something to have your registration done with them. I think that's what you're paying for. That money doesn't go to government account, just so you know. And then, of course, to correct some errors, that's what you pay for. If you had to mistake date of birth and some other things. Odiri Destiny Onye Chigoziri says, it's yet of no use for me apart from opening accounts, since I applied for Nigeria Police Force with it and they turned it off. Interesting. Just for opening bank accounts. Didi, I paid for my NIN. I carry a scanned copy of my NIN and a scanned copy of my international passport on my phone. To carry the actual IDs themselves is risky, because if they get lost, the headache you could take to replace them not be here or anonymous. I have a scanned copy of my passport as well. Also of my NIN. So yes, replacing them when they get lost, that one is something to consider. But what else do you move around with? Now, if you say you have scanned copy of these things on your phone, in an emergency situation, the people around you do not have access to your mobile device. The most they can do is make an emergency call when your phone is locked. And that will only be possible if you had provided emergency numbers when you were setting up your device. Yeah, some of you should go and do that now. Get your mobile device, go to settings, set it. So if there are no emergency numbers there, once your phone is locked, it's useless to whoever is around, except of course to a thief who wants to steal your device. Except of course, some of your security features will include a facial recognition, and you can just put it on your face and it opens. So they put it on your face. How would they know that is where your NIN and your passport is? So they'll be scrolling to check and say, okay, this is Eukarya Faustinus. Okay, that is this person that is here. Okay. I mean, it takes time. It takes time. Good day, presenter. Very good topic. Just that Nigeria is a failed state. ID card supposed to be the most important document to must carry about in case of anything. But in other way around, me, my colleagues, and too many other workers I know don't go about with our company ID card for security reasons. Instead, we move with national ID card, like I printed mine online and laminated it. I also have my unit ID card from my church, but no students have an excuse not to carry about their student ID. Daddy C, send that in. Soki Ifubara says, I have the national ID card. Nigeria makes things difficult for its citizens. Getting these cards should be easy. No need for long queues, especially with the advent of technology. I may not have time to receive more calls, but the bottom line is this. Identification cards, as they are useful. At least for the most basic reason, which is identifying who you are. This is me. This is my identity. This is some basic information about me. In case of emergency, refer to this card. I mean, sometimes if they find you even with your work ID, they may reach your company to, one of your staff member had an accident, or why am I thinking only accident? Denise, accident, out of your head. Oh, one of your staff members just collapsed or something. It must not be accident. You must not, all right? Take that out. Take that out, my man. Accident, out. It must not be accident, but identifying you. So for identification purpose, to prove that it is indeed you. And maybe it may just help you get a scholarship, like someone did on Sunday. So at least one. Your name, your face, address, something. So if you're found in a difficult situation, you can tender that in, not only for account opening. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Trending Stories comes up next. And like I said afterwards, a recorded program. But after the recorded program, a chit chat. When you pair two people to go and look for change. I want to break some tables. And Denise Ennis Wallace, stay tuned to us.